This anime begins with a hardworking girl named Pulp Tanks. After happily serving the patrons of her father's tavern, Pulp Tanks goes to the shower to clean up. All of a sudden, two bandits barge in and abduct her, saying she'd make a great gift for their boss. A few days later, the hero, Rance, is given a quest to save a girl named Hikari. At first, Rance isn't interested in accepting the quest because he believes it's beneath him. However, he quickly changes his mind after seeing Hikari's photo and discovering she's beautiful. Since he can't let such a beautiful damsel be in distress any longer, Rance wastes no time and heads out with his trusted and obedient servant, Seal, to rescue Hikari. The two arrive at Liza's, the city where Hikari stays and goes to school. Upon arriving at Paris College, Rance enrolls Seal so she can pretend to be a student and gather information about Hikari. Although he doesn't want to leave such delicate work to Seal, Rance has no choice because it's an all-girls school. After leaving Seal in school, Rance also gets to work and starts gathering information too. He visits the many business establishments in town. Although his main goal is to investigate what happened to Hikari, Rance doesn't forget to appreciate the many beauties that Lisa has to offer. Being the cultured hero that he is, Rance can't resist himself and tries to pounce on these beauties, hoping to have some cultural exchange with them. Unfortunately, all his attempts to do so are in vain. After a day of serious investigating, Rance doesn't find any clues about Hikari's whereabouts. While he talks to himself about it, he passes a girl who seems to be spying on him. Rance returns to the college to check if Seal has found any useful information, but she doesn't come up with anything substantial either. Disappointed and believing that she's slacking off, Rance takes it upon himself to teach Seal a lesson through cultural exchange, hoping to help her level up and be better at her mission. He takes her to the side and gives her a taste of his up-against-the-wall sword technique. When the time is right, he also gives her a hefty dose of his special experience syrup and Seal immediately levels up. As an added measure, Rance continues the cultural exchange until Seal is overflowing with his special experience syrup. After leaving Seal to focus on her mission again, Rance finds himself at a tavern with a man who is in a daze. As it turns out, it's the tavern owned by Pope Tenyx's father, Mr. Flanders. After hearing that Rance is a hero who is looking for Hikari, Mr. Flanders snaps back to his senses. He tells Rance that it's probably the work of a group of bandits that call themselves the Endless Tomorrow Battle Force, the same group that abducted his daughter Pulp Tanks. He says that the bandits are hiding out in a cave in the forest, but no one wants to make a move against them. Believing that Rance must be a famous hero to be given such a task, Mr. Flanders begs him to also rescue Pulp Tanks. After seeing her photo, the culture rises inside Rance, and he immediately accepts his request, thinking that it would be great if he could bag both beautiful girls in one swoop. Relieved that Rance accepted his requests, Mr. Flanders gives Rance all his money, plenty of food, and an assortment of other supplies. However, Rance stops him because he won't be able to carry all that stuff during the quest. Instead, he simply asks for some food and a bottle of booze. Meanwhile, a fellow student informs Seal that the Endless Tomorrow Battle Force is behind the recent abductions in town and that they're hiding in a cave in the forest. Seal eagerly notes down the information, relieved that she finally has some useful information for Rance. The other student then asks Seal to be her friend, and since she has never had one before, Seal happily accepts her offer. After that, Seal starts looking for Rance to deliver the information she found, but can't find him. She is somewhat frustrated that he is usually nowhere to be found whenever she wants to see him. As for Rance, he is deep within the forest, fighting members of the Endless Tomorrow Battle Force. Despite being outnumbered, Rance easily takes care of the bandits, not even needing to draw his sword from its scabbard. Aspiring to make both Hikari and Pulp Tanks his ladies, Rance eagerly rushes deeper into the forest to find the bandits' hideout. Upon arriving in front of the bandit boss's room, Rance suddenly hears cultural sounds coming from the other side. Realizing what's happening, he gets jealous and tries to open the door, but it won't budge. Then, Nikai, who is the second in command in the bandit group, arrives and mistakes Rance for a new recruit. She finds him cute and couldn't resist being playful with him. She asks him what seems to be troubling him, and Rance says the door to the boss's room is locked. Nikai says that Reinhardt, the boss of the bandits, is having a lot of fun with a new girl who was recently abducted, which makes Rance struggle to hide his jealousy. Of course, Nicole notices how he feels and reveals that she actually has the key to Reinhardt's room. Since she has no intention of giving it to him, Rains tries to pounce on her, thinking of taking the key by force, but she easily dodges his attack. Then, Nikai sees the bottle of booze that Mr. Flanders gave Rance earlier. It turns out it's a famous 250-year-old liquor, and Nico wants it badly. She immediately offers to trade the key to Reinhardt's room for it and help him get rid of some excess experience syrup. Being the cultured hero that he is, Rance happily accepts her offer. Having acquired the key, Rance immediately barges into Reinhardt's room and finds the bandit casting his forbidden vibration magic on Pulp Tank. Rance wastes no time and raises his sword against Reinhardt. Although Reinhardt has some skills, he is no match against Rance's special move called the Rance Slash, which is basically him throwing his scabbard into the enemy to distract him long enough so he can land a decisive blow with his sword. With Reinhardt out of the picture, Rance immediately checks on Pulp Tanks. Oblivious to what just happened, Pulp Tanks mistakes him as the bandit leader. Since he's a very helpful hero, Rance takes the opportunity to help Pulp Tanks level up through cultural exchange. When the time is right, he feeds her with plenty of his special experience syrup until she levels up. To ensure she gets stronger, Rance does this multiple times until Pulp Tanks is overflowing with the experience syrup and reaches her max level. Once done, Rance pretends he just got there and took out the bandit leader. After that, he rescues Pulp Tanks and returns her to Mr. Flanders, who is very happy to see his daughter safe. After declining the money reward from Mr. Flanders and getting a sweet thank you from Pulp Tanks, Rance leaves. As he's walking and thinking about what he should do next, the girl who was observing him earlier is tailing him again. However, Rance notices the girl and goes after her, thinking she's interested in sampling his special experience syrup. Eventually, he loses track of the girl, but to his surprise, she suddenly leaps from behind him and points a knife on his neck. It turns out the girl is a ninja, and she wants Rance to stop investigating Hikari's disappearance. Rance fights back, hoping to turn the table against the ninja girl. Unfortunately, since he's tired of fighting and leveling up girls all day, Rance isn't in his top condition and the ninja girl manages to give him a hard time. Just when things are starting to look bad for Rance, Seal arrives to help and the ninja girl retreats. Concerned, Seal asks Rance if he's okay. He smiles at her, and since he looks like he's about to give her a pat on the head for helping him out, Seal gets ready to receive her master's praise. To her surprise, she gets a bonk on the head instead and is blamed by Rance for letting the ninja girl escape toward the Lisa's castle. The next day, Rance tries to go to the castle where the female ninja escaped. However, he gets stopped by the cute gatekeeper, Menadu, who won't let him continue if he doesn't have a pass. Unable to do anything about it, Rance retreats and starts to blame Sil for his misfortune. At the college, Rance tries calling for Seal, but she's not there. However, her student friend suddenly appears and informs Rance that Seal isn't at school because she's feeling ill. Rance finds the girl beautiful, but he thinks her fashion sense is a little off. When Rance asks where Seal went, the girl says she went to Lisa's castle. Since she took so long to return, the girl believes Seal might be taking a break at the park. Sure enough, she's there feeding with a stray dog. While she contemplates her chances of convincing Rance to let her adopt the dog, Rance arrives and steps on the dog. Seal begs him to stop, but he ignores her and takes the opportunity to continuously and mercilessly step on the mutt so he can farm some extra lives. Since she once again disappointed him, Rance decides to teach Seal another lesson. He takes her to the nearby playground and roughly does a cultural exchange session with her on one of the rides, ignoring the many people walking by and looking at them. Of course, when the time is right, Rance once again gives Sil a hefty dose of his special experience syrup. Having acquired the pass he needs, Rance then leaves Seal behind and rushes to show it to Menadu. Although she's skeptical about how he acquired the pass, the cute gatekeeper can no longer stop Rance from entering the castle area. Rance is surprised to see a coliseum in the heart of the kingdom. While observing the fight, he gets a glimpse of the current fighter rankings and learns that one competitor is called the Ninja Master. Rance immediately assumes that it's the female ninja pretending to be a student that he fought earlier. He goes to see Manitou again and asks for some information. He explains his quest to track Hikari and that the female ninja is all the lead he has. It turns out that Rance wants to participate in the tournament, but needs a participation ticket to do so. Surprisingly, Menadu has a ticket, and in exchange for it, she wants Rance to help her clear some zombies lurking around a nearby tower. So Menadu and Rance work together to clear the zombies. Rance suggests they compete on who can eliminate more zombies to make things more interesting. The loser of the contest will do whatever the winner tells them to do. Rance doesn't hesitate to reveal that if he wins, he wants to make Menadu level up. Of course, Rance wins, and he has a cultural exchange session with Menadu on top of one of the graves in the cemetery, effectively disturbing the peace of whoever was resting 6 feet under there. Then, when the time is right, he also gives her a hefty dose of his special experience syrup, and she levels up. With Menado's ticket, Rance competes in the Colosseum. He quickly climbs the ranks and finally gets the opportunity to fight the Ninja Master. Much to his dismay, the Ninja Master isn't the female ninja he fought, but just some guy cosplaying as a female ninja. Disappointed that all his efforts have gone to waste. As he exits the arena, Rance encounters Maris, the attendant of Princess Leia. She brings Rance to the palace to meet the princess, who has become his fan after watching his fights. When they meet, Leia asks Rance to clear a nearby villa of some problematic ghosts. Of course, Rance protests, saying he's no priest. However, Maris interjects, revealing that they know he's searching for the whereabouts of the female ninja. Leia says that in exchange for his help, they won't only give him information about the female ninja, but also about Hikari. While that is certainly his main goal, Rance complains that he was expecting a more stimulating reward. Leia's amazed because Rance is exactly as her sources describe. She calls Maris, who doesn't hesitate to tell Rance she'll do whatever he wants if he helps them. Of course, with such a reward, or rather being the helpful hero that he is, Rance accepts Leia's request and promises to take care of it in no time. As he contemplates how to deal with the ghosts on his way out of the palace, Rance encounters Yulong, the best warrior in the Colosseum. While observing her, Rance becomes interested in her sword. Yulong notices Rance and tells him that she'll wait for him to reach and challenge her. Rance points out her sword and tries to confirm if it's indeed a special one. Yulong says it's a sword that can cut ghosts, the Ghostbuster sword. Since it's the solution to his ghost problems, Rance asks Yulong to give him the sword. Of course, Yulong has no intention of simply doing that. Instead, she says that if Rance manages to beat her, she'll do anything he says. Hearing the word anything, Rance immediately gets fired up as usual. He asks Yulong to not only bet the sword, but herself too. Yulong finds Rance's confidence amusing, so she agrees under the condition that he makes it to the top spot and breaks her ultimate technique. Rance later goes to watch Yulong fight in the Colosseum and is dumbfounded by how powerful her ultimate technique is. As the crowd cheers while Yulong raises her sword, she and Rance lock eyes. Seeing Yulong's overconfident smirk, Rance gets fired up to make the strongest woman in the kingdom his obedient training partner. Subscribe for more videos like this. In the end, don't forget the like button and algorithm say you well like this video.